Being financially stable is noticing things early. These are the things that you can track that will tell you when your money is about to get messy before it actually does. So let's get right into the video. Step 1, track your signals, not just numbers. The first signal is when you avoid checking your bank account. I know, I didn't mean to come for you this early, but it is important because a lot more people than you think do that often. Avoiding checking your bank account is not going to take away from the money that is or is not there. Sometimes also justifying small purchases. So, oh, I'm just going to get Popeyes here. I'm just going to get this new shirt, this new outfit here. Or, oh, I could really use these shoes. You have to start looking at your patterns and kind of what your points are that put you in that financial stress. Lastly, when you feel annoyed by normal expenses. Now there's a lot more, but I just wanted to focus on 3 to get us started. Your emotions are usually a warning sign of what is about to start happening. So if you can start tracking that, you can start noticing the pattern to actually change your financial future. Number 2, lifestyle creep. If you're not familiar, lifestyle creep is basically, say for example, you're working at a job, you get a promotion and suddenly you're bringing in $2,000 more than you were. Sometimes what that can look like is people will get a bigger apartment or they'll buy a house or a new car or something. 2,000 is probably a little bit on the lower end. Let's say you completely change jobs and you decide that you got like a $20,000 pay raise, completely doing the same work that you're doing. That's when you buy the new car that you maybe don't need right now, or you don't need to spend money on a whole new wardrobe. This is more about awareness than it is budgeting. Some of these can look like subscriptions slowly stacking. So you want to every month go through the subscriptions that you've used within the last 3 months. It usually takes 90 days and see how much am I actually watching Hulu, or how much time am I spending on Netflix? That will determine if you need to continue paying $20 a month for something, $60 a month for something, and then start tackling those down so that money can go elsewhere. Next is eating out. Some days you're just not gonna wanna cook. Most days you may feel like that, but you have to get into a space where you find some easy meal preps where you're like, okay, I'm just gonna do sheet pan meals for the rest of the week. If you're not familiar, that's basically putting like a vegetable, a protein, and a starch all on one pan in the oven for like 45 minutes, depending on what you're making, and just putting those in glass containers for the whole week and warming that up when you don't feel like cooking. But if eating out became the default, so you're eating out maybe 4 out of the 7 days of the week, all at $30 to $50 meals, let's say it's $50, that's $200 every single week, not including tip, not including the drinks you got, not including that, just the food itself. So you have to start looking at when is the absolute necessity for me to eat out. Maybe it's on a long day and you know you're not gonna come home and wanna cook. Maybe it's on a shorter day that you have, but you wanna dedicate more time, so you save the mental energy of thinking about what you want to cook to your finances, or to whatever admin work you've been putting off, or to paying some bills. And then convenience spending. This is when you have the money, but you don't have to spend it. But you do. Sometimes that can be shopping. For people, they have buyer's remorse sometimes when they go shopping and then you're like, I only wore these outfits or this shoe 2 times since I bought it and it's been a year. Convenient shopping can also look like, I'm here, let me just buy it. If you didn't need it before you walked in, you probably don't need it when you leave. It's a hard truth, but it's something that can really, really save your financial future. Nothing ruins stability quicker than quiet upgrades. So truly sit down and figure out, what do I need? Maybe you want to upgrade your couch because you've had it for 10 years. Maybe you actually want to invest in a new suit or a new work outfit and decide, I'm gonna buy this at this time, so you keep yourself on a really good schedule. Some days you're gonna want to spend the money on a nice dinner and not thinking about wanting to budget that in, but you have to do the right thing most of the time so that when you do the fun thing, it doesn't really matter because you're keeping up with it. Next, track future me obligations. You got to talk about upcoming events. I have 2 people I know that are getting married this year. Yeah. Those bridesmaid dresses, traveling for bachelorettes, like stuff like that, that's gonna add up on top of the personal things I wanna do with my boyfriend, on top of the personal plans I wanna have with my family. Like all that will add up. So when you start looking at what's ahead, you can stop living for just the now. It doesn't mean stop living present and only spend money on those events, but it means it might be in the better interest to not spend money on concert tickets back-to-back months if you know you're gonna be in a wedding or whatever the next event is for you. Seasonal expenses. For people that are entrepreneurs and you run your own business, you pay for your website, you pay for personnel, you pay for gear or whatever. Those seasonal expenses are gonna come around annually. The same thing with seasonal expenses of just like, say for the holidays, you like to host. You are not gonna have people eating on plain tablecloths because that's just something that fills your cup. You wanna go to the Dollar Tree or go to Marshall's or TJ Maxx, get some really cute fall festive things and make it a thing. You have to plan for those expenses. Social obligations, I think, is the kicker that gets most people. You don't have to go out for drinks every weekend. It is okay. Let it go. Decide what weekends matter more. That way you can build the discipline to actually build your dream life. And then the rest is travel, holidays, birthdays, things you know are gonna come around at least once a year. You need to have a separate fund that you create, either in an HYSA. If you're not familiar, I talk about it often in this video here, but typically you really want to have separate savings accounts for travel, for birthdays / celebrations, for fun money, and that's gonna start setting you up for success. Financial stress usually comes from forgetting the future or thinking too much about the present. So you have to find a healthy balance for both. Next, track margin, not savings. So this is a little bit more of a technical term, but it can be a more simplified concept. Margin is your money left after your essentials. So essentially, if you're looking at gross and net pay, you're taking home your net pay, not your gross pay. You might get paid $5,000 in a month, but you're only taking home $3,000 with insurance and taxes and all that. So focus on the take home pay rather than what comes in every month allegedly. You can be saving and still be unstable if you have no margin. So just figure out what that number looks like for you. And sometimes it'll vary if you have money coming in from different sources, but you have to plan for it now. And lastly, track what you check weekly. Look at your account balance and see how much a week are you spending on food, how much a week are you spending on going out, how much a week are you spending on convenience spending, so that you can start limiting those things to start saving up for the things that you actually really want to do. Your upcoming obligations, already talked about it. Plan for the moments that you don't want to miss or that you don't want to have but have to restrict yourself because you didn't plan properly before then. And all of these questions, all of these new systems that you're starting to build around your financial future will help you close the loop on a lot of things that maybe you weren't realizing that you were doing from a mental state or an emotional state or a learned state. Sometimes we see our parents or our friends and we think, okay, like they're doing it, like I can do it because I don't know what to do, but this is all I know. You can unlearn bad habits. It's so much harder when you don't stop for a second and think, what could I be doing differently for my financial future to set myself up for success, my future family up for success? You have to have these hard conversations. And I hope that this video has been helpful to really like sit down with yourself and think, I need to create a budget. At the end of the day, if you do nothing more in this video, the top 3 takeaways: create a Google Sheets for free, list out all the expenses that you do every single week, track it for a month, see where most of your money is going, and then start reducing the things that you really don't need. Second, decide what is a non-negotiable and what is just fun money, things that you can wait for next year. And lastly, decide twice a month what you're just gonna do and you're not even gonna be thinking about the spending. Now don't go out here and spend $10,000, but truly what dinner, what fun outfit are you getting, and make it still fun as you start to make these disciplined systems. So if you stayed until this long in the video, leave this emoji so I know that you're a real one, and lock in for your dream life because it starts with your financial future. I'll see you on the next episode of Party of One Podcast. Peace.